This presentation about lists and arrays. You can assign a variable or an element to an array directly by using the variable name or the scalar name as $fred and then using the square brackets. So automatically Perl will know that this is an array. In this case, as you can notice that the arrays start with the index number 0, different than other languages. So here we have 3 elements in array: element 0, element 1, element 2. So we have an array of length 3. The first element equal to Yaba, the second element equal to Daba, and the last one Do. How can we manipulate the elements inside an array? We can actually reach any element in the array by using the subscript expression, which will be any integer value. In this case, I am asking Perl to print the number 2, so the index number 2, as we notice here, is the last element in the array, so will print for me Do. Also, I can use this expression, for example, print for me 2/3. So here I will truncate automatically Perl this operation. I will return 0, so it will print for me the first element, which is Yaba. Another thing that you might want to do is to know the size of the array by using the $hash and the name of the array. It will return for you the maximum index number of the array. So here, if you want to know the actual number of elements in the array, so it's this value plus 1, as we said that it start Perl the array by number 0. So here will return for me number 2. Now I may ask, give me the value of that element in the array. So I will say this array Fred, give me the last number, which is Do. Okay. Now what will happen if I am asking for a value out of the scope of the array, out of the bound of the array? In that case, will return undefined value for me. So here I know my array is of length 3, but I am asking for number 17. So if I want to check it by the functions that we saw before defined, will return a value false because it's not defined value. However, Perl is smart enough that if you assign a value to an element, to an index far from the real index values that this array has, like we have only 0, 1, 2, but we assign a value to 17, what we'll do actually will just stretch out the array for you completely and will assign values from index number 3 to index number 16 with the value undefined. And also there is a way to use a negative subscript. What we'll do actually, if you use -1, will bring you the last element, here in our case hello. It bring you the previous one, in this case will be undefined. What can we do with list literals? It can be considered as a scalar separated by comma and enclosed by parentheses. So here is a definition of a list: 1, 2, 3 separated by comma, and we have parentheses. Also we can add a comma at the trail. It could be considered just for the easy way for you to add more elements in future or to rearrange those. So technically most of the Perl programmer will write parentheses 1 comma then 2 comma 3 comma and then they close the parentheses, so they can go back and rearrange the list, or they can add a new element in its easy way. So this will not be considered an error in Perl. You can mix a type of variables or strings inside a list, so as a string and a real number. You can have an empty list. You can have actually a list of numbers that Perl will generate automatically. Like here we say from 1 to 100, please generate for me a list of these numbers. So automatically will generate 1, 2, 3 up to number 100. Also actually, you can use the size of the last index number of an array to generate a list of that size. And as you can notice, maybe sometimes you really don't know the size of an array. This is not a problem in Perl. You don't have to define the length of an array from the beginning like other languages. it stretch out the way you want it. So here maybe I don't know even the size of the array at the runtime. We'll figure out the size of the array and we'll define this list based on the last index number. So if it's 2, will generate for me a list 0, 1, 2. If it's 17, from 0 to 17, etc. The function quoted words is an easy way, instead of using double quotations, comma, if I want to list a long list of strings. So this will help me. So I am creating a list with first element equal Fred, second Barney, the third Betty, the fourth Wilma. I can use any delimiters. Pair delimiters could be parentheses, could be squared bracket, could be curly bracket, could be any type of paired delimiter, even non-paired like a bar, maybe a $sign, etc. It can be used. What can I do with the list? I can do an assignment. So here I'm assigning the right side to the left side. Whatever I have here will be assigned parallel. So Flintstone will be going to the scalar named Fred, Rubble will going to the scalar named Barney, and defined will go to Dino. Now I don't have to add and define. If I get it, if I ignore that element, automatically it will be assigned and defined. Here, make it easier for me, I'm using the quoted word. Flintstone, Rubble will be assigned in parallel, first to Fred the Flintstone, the Rubble for Barney. What else? Now let's say I have an array of elements and I want to say assign quoted words. So Talc will go to the first element, Mica will go to second element, Feldspar will go to the third, and Quartz will go to the fourth element in the array. There is a much easier way, a shortcut, which is named as all of the, and the sign of it is at. So here I'm saying at this list named rocks, assign in order the following quoted words. So Talc will be assigned the first element, element 0, Mica to the second, the third, and the fourth. So this is equivalent exactly to this assignment. It is good to notice that whatever elements I had before inside this list will be erased completely. So be careful. If I had 17 elements, I will end up with 4 elements only. Also, I can have an assignment of the list to another list of scalars. So here the first element will know that we're going to go to the first, the second to the second, the third to the fourth. And if I didn't assign the fourth one, that means only pick the first 3 and assign them to the first 3 scalars. Also, I can generate a new list based on another one, so just a copy. Also, I can put a list with the at sign in the middle of list operation. So here I'm generating a new list of 6 elements. The first element is diamond. The next 4 elements are Talc, Mica, Feldspar, and Quartz. The 6th element is emerald. Some type of operations that we can do on arrays are the following. So for example, let me generate a list of numbers 1 to 10. So here my array starts from index number 0 to index number 9, the first element equal 1, the last element equal 10. I can use a function named pop. This function, what it does, it just take the last element in my array, will remove it from the array, and we can assign it to a scalar. So in this case, the last element was 10. I am popping up the 10 from my array, and now my array length is 9. The last element will be 9 in it, and I am assigning the value 10 inside a scalar named final. Now the opposite, I can push an element inside an array, or more than one element. Here I am pushing inside the numbers. I took off before 10, as you remember, so I'm pushing now from 10 to 15. So now my array has the elements from 1 to 15. The opposite, I can work from the front end of my array. So I can unshift numbers. So what that means, like from the beginning of the array, add numbers from minus 10 to 0. So we'll add minus 10, minus 9 until 0. Then what I had in my array was 1, 2, 3 until 15. remove at the beginning. So here I'm removing one element, so -10 equal to shift, which means bring the first element from the array, which is -10. So now I will have -9 until 15. You have to remember that pop and shift are destructive. They are removing single element. What else? Array interpolation. So for example here, single element can act like scalar. So here I am my list of rocks equal to the quoted word, the 3 word Flintstone, slate and rubble. I can bring the index. I'm saying give me the value of the index number 2, which is rubble. So here will print for me Barney and then next to it rubble as it is, and then go to the new line. All of the inserted spaces, so there's a better way that you can use. Print the word God and add rock. So what to do, it will split out all the elements of the array. Flintstone space, slate space and rubble. It automatically will add a space between the elements of the array. However, this first space came because I wrote God and space. You have to be careful if you are using the add as your email. You will confuse Perl because we'll think that this is an array. So name WKU.edu. So this is a confusing for it. So if you want to distinguish that, you have to put the these to proceed the add with a slash. And this is vary from version of Perl to another version. Quick example that how we can manipulate the list is by using for each. Of course you can use while, but you will need to use either end of the file or you can use the indices. For each is easier way to deal with it. For example here, for each I am assigning to the scalar rock the following list, which is the keywords bedrock, slate and lava. So for each value, the first value will be bedrock. Print out for me one rock is the value of rock, in this case will be bedrock. The second time will print slate, the third time will print lava. So the scalar rock is set to each element in the list in turn. Now you have to be careful, like the word here, since we are assigning the scalar rock inside a loop, will not be recognized outside that loop. So if I have another variable here named rock, will be confusing, will not know do you mean this one or something else. What else? Assigning that can affect the whole elements. For example here I'm assigning first the list to the rock, then I'm saying for each element, be careful here, rock different than rocks, for each element of the variable rock, give me the element in the list, and what you're gonna do, give the value of the rock equal to the word hard and add to it what is currently add to rock. So if you print this one in the loop, what will happen first will be hard bedrock, the second one will be hard slate, and the third one will be hard lava. You can also actually, you don't have to give it a complete name. It's smart enough to know what you meant here. So maybe you can do this operation in easier way. For each rock, give me the variable, whatever the variable is in the rocks, add to it hard and whatever the variable is, so it can do the same operation. Here some examples just to see it with the output. Here if I put the print function inside the loop, what will happen is first we'll print one rock is, and we'll bring the value of the add rock, which is bedrock, slate and lava. So at the beginning when I start, first I'm adding hard, so it's looking at each element inside the list. So we'll bring we'll put hard, bedrock, and we'll print the rest because it didn't work with the rest. Now the second loop, we'll go to the second one, but this one is substituted by hard bedrock. So the second time we'll print hard bedrock, and we'll go to the second element, we'll add hard in front of it and we'll print it. So hard slate, and lava. See, it doesn't have heart yet. Now the third time it goes to work on lava. We'll bring the lava, we'll add heart in front of it, and we'll print everything. So we'll print the first element, which is hard bedrock, the second hard slate, and hard lava. And this might be wrong. You might want to print after you finish the operation. So here you are saying add the hard in front of all the elements of rocks, and then print me out what you have in rocks. So this will be the right way. One rock is hard rock, hard slate, and hard lava. What kind of operations we can do on the list? There is the reverse. What we'll do, actually here, if I have a list of rocks and it has all these elements, just gonna reverse them for me. So would be granite at the beginning, rubble, then the slate, then the bedrock. So the reversed list will have these elements, will not make any changes to the rocks. Okay, be careful about this one. Now if you want to make change to the rocks, you just add the reverse, and this is done by the memory and put it back, not like other languages that will erase the content since it's overwriting it. No, it keep the content in the memory, work on it, and put it the right way. There is another function, which is the sort. We'll sort the element as an ASCII sort, so be careful, not on the number. So sort the rocks. Here, for example, we'll start with bedrock, then granite, then rubble, then the slate. So we'll order it for me in that way and put the result here in rocks. You can do reverse and then sort, which will end up with the same result. So if I do it with the numeric numbers, as you can see, if I have to sort 97 to 102, 1 is the lowest, so we'll put 100, 101, 102, then 97, because 9 is the lowest, is after the 1, but the 7 is the lowest, and 98, 99, so it makes no sense. So be careful. We're gonna look at it in future courses, future classes, how we can fix this one. Scalar and list context, very important aspect here. How Perl distinguish between an operation that is a scalar than a list. It knows very well from the way that you are using, and I give you a very simple example. Like if I am telling you REC or RD, you don't know if this is record or record unless I give you the whole context of the phrase. So this is the same. So let us see how Perl can interpret it. So if I say 42 plus something, it looks at it as it is a scalar. But if I say sort something, it knows that this is a list. So some examples. Add people equal to quoted word Fred, Barney, Betty. Here it knows that this equal sign is for a list. It assigns those keywords to a list and people. Here at sort at people, it knows that it's gonna sort the list and will put the value in sorted. Now if I say the scalar $sign number, and I'm using the same operator here at people, it's gonna use this operator as a number. It's gonna bring me the number of element inside people, which is 1, 2, 3, added to the 42, will give me 45. So number will be a scalar equal to 45. What else? Here, for example, add people assigned to add copy. It knows I am assigning one list to the another list, where here add people equal to $sign count. That means I'm assigning the number of elements inside the tree to a scalar named count. Very easy. Also, we can use the input from the keyboard to enter the data inside the list. The difference here between the scalar and the list, that in scalar the end of the line is the end of the line is the end of the element, where in the list is the end of the file. And here is different. It's Control D in Unix or Mac and Control Z in Windows. So be careful for this one. This is a very simple example. If I am entering from the standard input terminal, I am saying for each value that you entered, print it out for me. So we'll print it out for you. It's very easy. So this is you have to be careful also for the end of line. So if you want to take off the end of line, you can use a shump as we saw it before. And that's it. One thing to remember here, that whatever you're reading from the keyboard and your internet inside a list, it will be saved in the memory. So if you're reading, let's say, hundreds of web pages, you will be or logs from the website, this will be not a good way to read data, and just to save it in the memory, you will have your program crashed. For the time being, this is what we have for the list and arrays.